While some senators in this country are doing incredible wonders to get your EIDL loans approved within minutes, in Florida, Marco Rubio is doing nothing. Every time you say Marco, I say Polo. Marco Polo. Thanks for tuning in to our new series about senators and in Florida and senators elsewhere who are helping or hurting the small businesses of America. If you want to get your loans approved, I gotta hope you don't live in the state where people dress like this in bad Miami Vice revivals. As always, like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below, and you may be featured in tomorrow's recording. And please hit that bell on the front of this channel when Christopher Columbus goes looking for your grant money and can't even find Marco Polo. But shortly we'll be getting to all 96 of your comments calling for the resignation of Marco Rubio from the Senate subcommittee on SBA. But we'll also be detailing really a core important issue about how to get your loan money approved by having your senators step in. We will detail which senators are working, which senators are doing nothing, and where Marco Polo is located, because he is literally nowhere to be found. To recap, Marco Rubio had a Senate subcommittee hearing last week with the Honorable Jovita Late, who came in and Scarface herself said literally nothing helpful to small businesses. In fact, said that she didn't think the EIDL process was there to help sole proprietorships. I could hear the entire rumbling of the net as it was said. Imagine all the Uber and Lyft drivers basically pissed off within minutes, saying that none of them should have applied. Well, there was the wonders of the moment, with everyone wondering, okay, where was Marco? Why did Marco, who's head of the Small Business Administration Subcommittee, say anything? And sure enough, we said Marco, he said Polo, we said Marco, Polo. He didn't do anything. In fact, much of the entire debacle of the Senate congressional hearing was Rubio doing much of nothing but giving a big hug and kisses to Scarface herself and never finding any flaws with everything. In fact, everything is flawed. Much of the committee hearing drew a battleground between Republicans and Democrats, sadly. There's nothing partisan about EIDL. It's a program to help businesses of both parties, irrespective of what state they're in. But if you listened to the dynamics of what Marco Polo did that day, he basically turned it into a Democrat versus Republican fight. Here are some of the comments. Rubio needs to go, says Cressy. The good old people need to vote him out. Eric, Rubio hasn't done anything much for me at all, and I'm in Florida. Senator Rich Scott has been more responsive. Angel Noah, election year, don't let this slide. Walter Stillwagon, Rubio's a Republican, so that speaks volumes. Mark Sammons, I'm done with little Marco. I gotta say, our viewers of this channel are both Republicans and Democrats, so I'm not trying to isolate anyone. But as to helping businesses, Marco Rubio has done much of nothing. There are senators who have done wonders, and this is what's important. I'm trying to get you your EIDL loans approved. I'm not just trying to give my excuse to get dressed up in crazy costumes. There's certain senators who have done wonders, and there's ones that I have to warn you, and this is early. I mean, we've been doing this since Thursday, this contacting the senators movement. There's some that have worked wonders and some that have not. Tammy Duckworth has been good. The senators in Washington, Oregon, and Maryland have been so far reported wonderful from viewers of this channel. One person said John Kennedy has been good, Corin has been good, and another one I detailed, which I just lost a second ago, was also good. I detailed in the loan video. Now, in New Jersey and New York, hot mess. I've heard nothing but bad remarks about Cory Booker. I've heard nothing but bad remarks about Bonnie Watson. It's very strange because if you remember last Wednesday, we detailed that there's a congressional House committee investigating Jovita Late, and that is being led by a congressman out of New Jersey. Now, here's the problem I have with her. I believe it's the Honorable Ms. Velasquez. If I recall correctly, I went to her page, I tried to contact her, and guess what? She doesn't want to hear from you unless you live in her small little district of New Jersey. Why are there House committees that are supposed to work for the interests of the entire United States that are impaneled to, this one was impaneled for SBA, they're impaneled to oversee the whole SBA process, and yet when you contact them about the subject matter of their panel, they don't want to hear from you. In the case of that New Jersey representative, she doesn't want to hear from anyone unless you have a zip code in her district. In the case of Marco Rubio, he does not only want to not hear from you, but he doesn't even dress as nice. In Florida, he will not respond to you if you're not a representative of the state. So a lot of viewers have been reaching out to Marco Rubio since the end of last week. We have been telling you since Saturday that we have learned for you not to contact him because he will not respond to you unless you're a resident of his state. Charming. There are other channels out there that are telling people to contact Rubio. Who wants to contact Rubio? He literally will not respond to you unless you're a representative of the state. And guess what? These are comments from viewers, 94 of them, many of which are residents of his state, that said he doesn't even respond to them as well. So there you go. Muji says, Rubio is letting the country down. Absolutely. Dermic Hair Doctor, if you don't want to disclose information about your company, don't apply for loans. If you didn't watch our debut of LALATE Live yesterday detailing Marco Rubio, it's really a horrible scandal. He is flip-flopping by the moment. He was on the side of information earlier in this process. Back in March and April, he said he wants full disclosure of who's getting this money. He wants full disclosure that the process is not being abused by big banks or big business. He wanted full disclosure that that small businesses like the viewers of this channel get funded. Now, in the last week, since Scarface showed up, he is literally rolling over and knitting a quilt for her and flip-flopping. He was actually detailed in a CNN report Thursday after that congressional hearing as flip-flopping. They pulled his April statement and they read it to him based upon what he's now saying. He's now refusing any disclosure of the information that he initially requested. This is after 11 news agencies have sued the SBA to release information about what corporations are getting this funds. These are federal funds. The obtaining of federal funds is not a private matter. It's federal money as the set goes away. You know, someone yesterday said that that's a green screen. Well, now you know it's not a green screen. Green screens don't grab paper like that. Philip Derrick. I watched the video and saw how Marco Rubio was asking Jovita questions. Marco Rubio didn't ask her anything tangible or meaningful. Very well said. I mean, he's the head of the committee. He just sat there and rolled over. Patty Olson, why did he get appointed to chair this committee? Start the investigation. What do we have to lose at this point? Very well said. What Rubio is doing is in direct violation of his involvement. He needs a scarf matching Jovita's. They're kindred spirits, says Renee. Living in Texas, Rowan says, I can say this without worrying. Rubio gave off a bad impression during the presidential election. Looks like nothing has changed. You know, there are channels out there that are talking about contacting Rubio, contacting Cruz. Who cares? You need to be contacting your senators and your congressmen. What I want you to do, and if you haven't watched our AID loan video today, it's part one of our 4-part series. It detailed who you are supposed to contact to get your loan and grant money. You're to contact your senators, both of them in your state, and your representative. And then I want to know their response. Drop them in the comments below. If you contacted your senator or congressman, I want to know the good and the bad. Here's more bad. I personally contacted Kamala Harris in California 3 times. Haven't heard a word back. Another viewer has dropped in the comments. He contacted Kamala Harris and has not heard back as well. There are certain states where senators are literally doing nothing in being responsive to viewers. Raymond Asalemo. And these are the reasons I will not go voting GOP this time around. I'm tired of my family being screwed out of funds we are entitled to. Let the 1% of the vote for the crooks, and good luck in their new jobs in 2021. Very well said. El Shajani, yes, he needs to be put on a trail. Congressional hearing for him out the door. Live with Grace Oracle. I've had to take a break, but I'm frustrated at the IDL. My business needs to grow. They can't just resist screwing the people. I mean, he's head of the committee that's supposed to watch the interests of all spill businesses in the country. He's not on that committee to watch only the businesses of the interests of the businesses in his state. What is going on here? That is a panel that does not have 15 members. So a lot of viewers were asking me when the day before the panel happened, when I gave you all the contact information, they said, "Where's my senator on the list?" I said, "Well, they're not on the panel. They're not on that committee." But the fact that some people are not on the committee does not mean that the committee doesn't consider the issues of every state. Marco Rubio is chairman of a committee that is answer the issues of every state, not just his own. Is Florida its own government? Is Florida its own country? If the fashion styles of this video are any indication, it certainly is not and shouldn't be. Pizza God, Rubio has been big disappointment. And when he hit my radar in 2016, I thought there might have been something there. Apparently there's not. James Doran, Rubio flops around almost as much as Lindsey Graham. He owned big business. Thank you for exposing him. Keep up the good work. You're now my favorite YouTube channel. Inceptor, now we see why the systems are a little rigged in favor of multimillionaires. Stay strong. Remember the politicians who work for the people on don't. Yesterday I detailed that Rubio also defended the scandals of the PPP program when it first came out. And then this is when Steve Mnuchin was not. I mean, this is when Steve Mnuchin said, yeah, there's errors, Steve Mnuchin. Remember Steve Mnuchin called out the owners of the Lakers? There's Marco Rubio defending everyone at the same time. I was like, where's this gutless, spineless senator from Florida who just rolls over and hugs big business all the time? And so there's Mnuchin having the balls to say in a press conference, give the money back or we're going after you. Where's Marco Rubio? Pulling out a paisley shirt and cueing some Don Johnson music? What's going on? Lawrence Bly, they've been investing interest in maintaining the status quo. Francisco Peter, we're here for you, buddy. Thank you. I think Rubio's sleeping with Joe now. Shake Shack has 2 million branches. I think that's the pandemic. Oh my God. Yes, we detailed yesterday. Shake Shack got all that enormous money from the PPP loan during that first week. And remember when the funds were gone in a second? And everyone with a brain cell said, oh, why are the funds gone in 1 second? Small businesses couldn't use up all those funds in just a second. Rubio came out and said, oh, Shake Shack needs it. They're entitled to the money and, blah, blah, blah. And he slammed the news reporters. Does slamming the news reporters sound familiar? Who else does that? Robert Dunhan, can we forward Rubio a scarf? Renato Silva, Rubio and Javita and everyone else was like ass-kissing during that congressional get-together. They must go. They don't have the people's interest at heart. Very well said. It was like a big potluck dinner. And unless you were drinking the SBA juice, miracle juice, you weren't invited. Hanaji, the portal invite again, try to log on, same issues. Remember your vote. Time to flush the toilet. Local government is lost. Very well said. A lot of your local, when we're talking about House representatives, they represent you in a much smaller, finite area. Their miles, their district area is so much smaller than a senator. So they should be able to work harder for you because they have less citizens to deal with than a senator. Cruz Juan, shame, very well said. Amy says, I think a lot needs to be taken change in Washington. Monique Montero, sweaty Marco Rubio is crooked like a snake. Boy, it's just very disconcerting. I mean, it's Marco Polo every single day. Where is he? What is he doing for the small businesses America? Nothing. You shout Marco, he shouts Polo if you hope. John Natto, hey, LA, you're so wonderful. Seriously, and just the right amount of comic relief. Nothing better. Rubio is a flapping gums to do nothing. Josiah should stuff a scarf in his duplicate's craw because she's too busy taking care of the thread counts to care about how many people losing their livelihoods. Seriously, looking at the end of the Grant potion that was supposed to be a 3-day turnaround, one month, $1,000 is covering 1 month's electrical bill for a small business. Just saying, Rubio has weebles. Very well said. I mean, how do you sit on a congressional Senate subcommittee and not go after Javito Carranza and say the EIDL grant program was to pay the grant money within 3 days, 3 business days. And the fact that you are here in June saying that you had staffing problems, okay, well, where have you been for 3 months? You should have come back to us within 24 hours and said, hey, I need an emergency congressional hearing. I don't have enough staffing. I'm supposed to be giving these grant monies within 3 days. People haven't gotten their grant money in 3 months. And there's Rubio. What is he doing? Is he doing his toenails and ordering a salad? What is he doing in this hearing? You barely heard him talk. Shannon, get rid of him. Very well said. Dermot Kean, I think that maybe a couple congressmen push for certain people to get $2 million before the rest of small businesses. Renee, the politicians have lost perception of reality. Very well said. Beauty Babe, Republicans tricked Democrats and changed the grant money after they got Democrats to vote it over the big bailout of their friends. That's the scandal. Interesting. Republicans got Democrats to agree to billions for big businesses. They never gave to small business grants and access to loans after they paid the cronies and stabbed small businesses in the back. Democrats should be aware of this law-breaking act. I love what she's saying. Jed Merrill, they're not making who gets the money public because companies need not be accepting over PR issues. No one wants to be the next Shake Shack. The Republicans don't care about you unless you're rich or big business. Isn't that obvious with the needed stimulus they keep on kicking down the road? Chris Nanonapolis. Very well said. If you have a question or comment to today's video, which I know you do, drop them in the comments below. This is part 3 in our 3-part programming block tonight. EIDL loan, Jovita Light, Marco Rubio Polo, and finally EIDL grant coming up later tonight. As always, stay with LA for more.